I gave myself the mandate of investigating and exposing political assassinations. There are a few occasions, like this one, where I make comments reluctantly. But I look at it that in the absence of my making a comment, rumors and misinformation may spread out so much that I weigh my silence and the projected negative effect. I feel that I am forced to comment on such issues. So, bear with me, because the dead needs to rest in peace. And even the people that he left behind need to move on. And the circumstances, which I'll tell the whole truth, may give a small gap. Kwa Kiswahili tunaita mwanya. It can give a small gap for further rumors. But then, truth is priceless. And everybody, including myself, we have our personal life, personal that may be different from our public life. Such a life should remain private, especially when the person affected is not in a position to explain himself. But we are compelled by circumstances and the risk of being seen to not letting the dead rest. But we find that the small disturbance that we will have is necessary to block the large turbulence. We know that the families that were left behind are affected by our disclosure. But it is there is a band that used to be called necessary noise. We have to make the necessary noise so that we clear this thing once and for all. Gerald Otieno Kajwang was a lawyer and a political activist. It is people like him that brought the second liberation. He had a thriving business, a law firm. Then, even today, being a lawyer was very lucrative. It is still lucrative now, but these days, there are so many law graduates. So for a person, a sharp-minded lawyer, like Gerald Otieno Kajwang, it was very easy for him to just continue with his law firm, make a lot of money, and live happily thereafter. But he chose on a path that was painful. He chose a path that cost him a lot, and it is unfortunate that at the time when what he fought for, what he sacrificed his life for, both in reality and, life, it does not just mean dying or anything, but I'm saying seeing people that you are better off as a lawyer, living in very expensive neighborhoods, living life that is quite comfortable, and you deciding on your own volition, without anybody pushing you, to leave that and look for a bigger picture. A bigger picture whereby financing your lifestyle was even a problem, and constant harassment from people like me. That is Gerald Otieno Kajwang. And then after fighting for all these things, and now he was a minister, he was a rising star, then dying. But the purpose of this video was that I came up to clear the circumstances that he died, because he died a natural death. But the natural death that he died, if seen from the top, would give an impression of a political assassination. I usually start with somebody's life from when he was young. Otieno Kajwang was married, and his marriage was legally recognized. And because of the struggle, his life started going down, and his spouse's life started going up. She moved out. She moved out, went to stay away. And if I'm not wrong, she went and lived out of the country. But you see, their marriage was registered. There's no way things would have happened the way they do happen in Come We Stay. So Come We Stay has also its own advantages. Otieno Kajwang, still struggling, he got a second woman, whom they started staying together as man and wife. Or can I say as husband and wife? During that stay, they had kids. And you see, the other woman also had kids. So Otieno Kajwang continued the struggle with the second woman. They continued staying that way until things started changing. Still things started changing, whereby he was in the cream of the cream, which we have to thank him for and say that he deserved even more. Then when things started getting well, the woman who is recognized by law as his wife came back. Otieno Kajwang was a lawyer, so he knew what he was doing, and we have to respect a decision of somebody, an adult, not only an adult, but a very good lawyer, when he decided to stay in a life that was, for all purposes and needs, is a polygamous family. He continued that way. His returnee wife was staying in one side of one end of the capital, and the woman whom we can say the Come We Stay woman was staying in the other side of the town. A modest place, somewhere around South C, South B. Now, the two women recognized each other. They accepted life in a polygamous way. Although the marriage to one was legally binding, and the other one was a Come We Stay. Then he was leading a normal life. Most of these politicians have medical problems. That is why whenever a politician is arrested, you find the lawyers rushing to take to have him out because he's on medication. So on his last day, he left his house in those Kina Muthaiga Runda area, came to the parliament, mixed with other politicians, interacted with them, talked well, nicely, and then he decided to go to his other home in Nairobi South B, South C area. When he went there, he got a medical condition which is normal, but it just happened that the medication that he had were on the other side of the town. So the emergency came, and he was rushed to Mata Hospital. Mata is one of the best hospitals in Kenya, and people were wondering why he was not taken to Nairobi Hospital or any Aga Khan Hospital, which is nearer where he was staying. Those who said that, and I don't blame them, it's because from the house that everybody knows to Aga Khan is near. But from the house that people didn't know, the nearest hospital was Mata. So people started questioning, why is it that he was taken all the way from Runda Muthaiga area and taken up to Mata and bypassing these other hospitals? Now you know it was because he was in that area and he was taken to the nearest hospital. And as is normal, when somebody dies, whether the woman knows or doesn't know, you find that we have even had senior cases like JM Karaoke. There is one widow who had undergone a wedding ceremony. So for decades she started insisting that she did not recognize the other women because the law then, I think now the law is changed. The law then said that once there are 4 types of marriages, there is the traditional, there is the Hindu, there is the Muslim, and there is the attorney generals. So Christians who are married in church, it is that your pastor is acting like an agent. He's using a delegated power from the AG. And that AG's marriage, where you get the marriage certificate, at that time, and it has always been that way. I think, if I'm not wrong, the law has changed. But in those times, once you are married that way, and the marriage is not divorced, then other marriages are seen as not legal. So, this woman who had run away from Otieno Kajwang came back when Otieno Kajwang was flying a flag and such a situation. She started claiming that she was the only wife there. The other woman wanted herself and her children to be included in the funeral arrangements. Even in the sitting arrangements, you could see she was, when people are seated, and you know there is this arrangement that funerals are usually held at the senior wife's place. So she was seated there just like any other person without any preferential. And she wanted to be recognized and her children be recognized. The children had birth certificates bearing Gerald Otieno Kajwang. Even the hospital, no, the parliamentary health facilities and all the privileges that are bestowed to a spouse and children of a honorable member were given to this other lady. The ODM party came together and solved that problem. As I pen off, I wanted to tell you that one of the reasons why people insist, especially people like women, that they be included in the funeral arrangement, mostly it is to say that if you are not included, and dead gratitude of the deceased person is given out, this is one of the places where they can say you are not there, and so on. So with that, I would wish people to watch this video so that they allow Otieno Kajwang to rest in peace, and also allow their the family that he left, or could I say families, because there are two women concerned, the families that he left behind, to live in peace. That's all.